are some of the things that we as consumers can do to continue to maintain our social responsibility, or even just to start, for those who don't even know where to begin? How do I minimize my carbon footprint? How do I stay socially responsible and stay fashionable?
Well, I'm certainly not a fashion expert, as you may see, but I think that in the fashion industry and in whatever product you're buying, it was touched upon earlier. You vote with every dollar that you spend, and if you're buying eco-responsible products, and if you're asking retailers and the manufacturers of those products to make products that are ethically produced, that have a very low environmental footprint, then that increased demand is going to increase the supply of those products, and that's one of the greatest things that you can do. Is every time you spend a dollar, make sure that you're voting for a product that is worth it.
Kind of to take that another step further, as you're picking a product and deciding on what you may want, find out as much about it as you can. Ask the questions. Is this piece of jewelry made ethically? And if they say no, which most of them will, or they won't say no, they won't know. They won't know the answer. They won't know the answer. Most won't know. 99% won't know. You can find companies who specialize in it. Google's a great place to do it. That's why most of the most successful ethical jewelry companies are online, because retail jewelers aren't really doing it. But I think that the most important thing you can do is educate yourself, know what questions to ask, and what issues are important to you. If you go and do not get the answers you want, don't buy that product. It's that simple. Spend your money where you know it's having the benefit you want it to have.
A couple quick thoughts. Check labels. See where things are made. If you don't know, if you're a country you've never heard of, pull up its human rights reports on the U.S. State Department website, or a website called Freedom House that talks about the sort of political freedoms and cultural freedoms and civil freedoms in a country. And if it's a country that scores really poorly, don't buy that product. In some degree, and you probably know more about this than I do, it seems that in the purchase of diamonds, there's been some success in this, because people take it as a big, serious purchase, and somebody doesn't want to wear a blood diamond. Well, buying a $20 shirt at wherever it might be, you don't take it quite so seriously. Take it seriously. Have pride in that. The other thing I would mention has worked very well in other areas is something called the United Nations Global Compact. This is not formal international law, but it was created through the United Nations, and it is a sort of voluntary agreement where companies sign up to 10 basic principles. And those principles are things like basic human rights for their workers, producing things in both a human rights and environmentally sound manner. The companies that have signed up to this don't tend to be fashion houses. Get fashion houses to sign up. Then you go on the globalcompact.org website and you see which companies are there. Or create a special one for fashion, whereby fashion houses or fashion producers have to sign up to this and commit themselves so that you get market feedback and market pressure. But we need transparency and then market pressure. And Global Compact's done it really well. There are probably other groups in the fashion industry that have done it, but that's a very effective tool.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to ask a follow-up question on that you can tie in together. We've talked, both of you actually have touched on the power of the internet and just doing research. Fashion and technology, I mean, where we are today just with 2009 and just where technology has reached, how can we use technology to fight poverty, whether it's social media, whether it's online websites, whether it's research? What are some of the tools that people can use? What are some of the things that they can do using technology to fight poverty?
I'll start, I suppose. I mean, I think, dare I be mundane and just say the internet? But, I think it's very easy to communicate these days through social networking sites and so forth. Referring back to my shoes, because they're such a great example on so many levels. One thing I did when I bought these shoes, I was so excited that they had used this material because it just is something I love. that I actually wrote to the company and told them that I was very excited about it, and I told them, you know, sort of how I hope these designs from indigenous groups, you know, can continue to get more recognition within your business and, you know, the shoe world or something like that. And they actually wrote back to me, and that was quite interesting because would you have really expected that? But it was interesting to show that somehow these comments of mine were resonating, and it was good to kind of compliment them for doing something right. And I think that, you know, I wouldn't have sat down and wrote a letter or anything like that. But I think like what Bill was talking about in terms of going on the State Department websites and getting your information, and also I think one of the most unique and most powerful attributes of the fashion industry is its capacity to convey messages, its self-expression, and to make maybe some sort of social or political statements through design, and the way that it conducts advertising campaigns, either, you know, through it's a very visual kind of industry. So I think if the fashion industry, you know, could think of ways in which their advertising could be effective that would somehow bring into consideration environmental or socially responsible concerns, that would definitely be an effective way in making these kinds of concerns cool. Because just as much as they are responding to our demand, they are also in a very powerful position to shape our taste.
Definitely.
I think that small to medium designers could very easily use a blog as one of the best communication tools as to how they're trying to better their brand, better their designs, and communicate directly with the consumer. Instead of having to have unknowns about your brand, you can put up a blog post that says, today I switched to a carbon neutral format, or today I moved my website to a solar powered web host. These are things that people who are fans of your brand can sign up and receive newsletters for instantaneously. You can take a trip to wherever you purchase your materials from. Maybe it's, you know, an African material like your shoes, and put it on YouTube with a video of meeting with the community that produces this material. There's a lot of ways to get people interested in your product and what you're trying to do for social change. Once again, I cannot stress how important it is